Hello, my name is Robert Barr. I'd like to recommend you my course on the value of you, your work, and your possessions. There are deep differences between those who know God and those who don't, because our own view is so narrow. It sees things only from our perspective, while those who know God and are filled with the Spirit see it from God's perspective, which is far beyond our own. Jesus came to bring us new life, not just a whitewash or a brief rinse. When we receive Christ, we're born again. While we are born in the flesh, when we spring from our mother's womb, we do not have the Spirit of God in us and must be born again of the Spirit. When I announced to my pastor that I felt God leading me into the ministry, she didn't send me to learn public speaking. She sent me into the inner city to minister to the souls and lives of men and women who are struggling to survive. The word pastor means shepherd. Pastors should be shepherds of their flock. They cannot expect healthy sheep if all they do is preach to them. While preaching is important to teach them what they need to know, the good shepherd also cares for his sheep. He leads them to good food and clean water, and warns them of danger and defends them against their enemies. Many pastors are trained to be preachers, but never learn to be pastors or shepherds. I knew that to minister to my people's needs, I would have to understand their needs. So I got my college degree in sociology to learn about people and their needs. And I got my master's degree in pastoral theology to learn about the Bible and how it applies to our life and the life of believers. I've served several churches in a number of denominations and served as a social worker, serving both the elderly and the poor, as well as teaching sociology in a couple community colleges. In order to understand what it means to be a Christian, there's no better place to begin our discovery than with the basic questions of who we are and why we're here. Everything else will flow from that basic understanding. Without an understanding of who we are and why we're here, we cannot understand why God values what he does. First, the video deals with how God values us as individuals. God values us because we're his creation. He molds us in the womb to be a unique creation, individually designed and molded to his specifications. Unfortunately, things happen, and some don't make it out of the mold alive, or they may live and be permanently damaged. That's part of our fallen world. When man rebelled against God, he brought death into the world. Along with death came disease and deformities. However, God uses even our trials to display his love and his mercy. When they brought the blind man to Jesus, they asked whether he was blind because of his sin or that of his parents. Jesus replied it was not due to his sin or that of his parents. The man was blind so that Jesus could demonstrate his power to heal. I don't believe that God deliberately made the man blind, but Jesus used that blindness to demonstrate his power to heal and to lead people back to God. Second, it deals with how God values our relationships. He values our relationships with him most of all. Unless we know him and receive his Spirit, we cannot fully become what he has planned for us. He also values our relationships with each other. All of the 10 Commandments and most of the Bible illustrate what God values. They're designed to teach us how to live so that we can live in peace with each other. While we may feel that God has abandoned us or given us up for someone else, God has promised us never to leave us or abandon us. While we may dig ourselves a great hole from which we feel we can never escape, God is there reaching down to us, urging us to take hold of his hand and let us rescue him. God's love is not just temporary until we mess up or until he gets tired of us. God is in it for the long term. If we repent and turn to him, the relationship can last for eternity. If we reject him and don't repent, we will spend eternity without him. Third, it deals with how God views work. It was part of God's original plan, but it became a burden because of our rebellion. God didn't just create us to sit around the pool and enjoy life, or so that he could have somebody to talk to. He created man to oversee his creation and manage it. Fourth, it deals with how he creates each one of us for a purpose and gives us talents and abilities to complete that work. He uses our experience and even our trials to prepare us for the work that he has for us. I had polio at the age of 2. My legs were paralyzed. I went through a great deal before I was finally able to walk. God used that to mold me into the person I became. I'm able to work well with those who are crippled and those who are poor because of what I went through. Finally, it deals with how God views our possessions, which is far differently than we do. We like to think that they belong to us and we can do what we want with them. However, God created everything we have, and he has only loaned them to us to manage for him. Thank you.